So I've seen the article on Vogue by Shantae Joseph. I think she's British, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a rhetorical question, but it was a question, I guess, yeah, to open up everyone for dialogue. And it was, is having a boyfriend embarrassing? Like, it didn't say, hey, if you have a boyfriend, don't, they're so embarrassing. Like, that wasn't the title. I see some people don't read for context. But she interviewed us like a few people and there were different thoughts. But she brought up some points that I agree with as far as there'll be like a content creator and most people will follow her because they like her style, her tutorials, or whatever it is she offers, right? Then she'll get into a relationship. Excuse me, she'll get into a relationship and then the content will be my man, my man, my man, and then turn into like couples content. And some people will tune out. It's one thing if you're like a vlogger and you show your life, and yes, you decide to show your boyfriend, and if you pivot to couples content, it's cringy when it's like forced or seemed to be so soon, because for all the viewer knows, you could have been with that person for a couple of years and you decide to bring them out. But typically that's not how it goes when content creators reveal their you know spouses or whatever, or significant others, whatever you want to call it. There was also a point where she spoke on how women will allude to the fact they're with someone or even post like a man's arm or the back of his head and all of those things out of fear because there's been so many stories like Arisa Tisa and others where a woman will post her man and it turns into a hey girly text. Then the DMs come and it's like, I was with him last week. So some women are afraid to fully show their boyfriends. So it posed the question, well, is having a boyfriend embarrassing? And my thoughts on that is having a boyfriend is not embarrassing, but the choices that you've made and men you decide to keep around you is what is embarrassing. A lot of women who hold other women accountable will be called pick me's. And a lot of times it can be a little pick me esque when certain women do it. But overall, there needs to be accountability or there isn't growth. To feed into the narrative of having a boyfriend is embarrassing and to just take it and run with it is so adverse to growth. Like, it's really adverse to advancement, in all sincerity. I don't subscribe to that, but it was a good question to pose and even spark up the conversation, even how it was worded, because, people are quick to jump on offense, right? They're quick to be like, oh, I'm so offended by this. And yeah. Or is that defense when people become defensive? Either way, like, people love being offended. That's what I'm trying to say. So having a boyfriend is not embarrassing. It's the choices that you make leading up to said relationships. And sometimes you see the red flags and you ignore them because you want to give the benefit of the doubt. And speaking of the benefit of the doubt, if you have not seen episode 4, or rather listen to it, I speak briefly on the benefit of the doubt. So please go and check that out. But yeah, I can think of times where I've had relationships and it didn't work out. And I did feel embarrassed. I was cheated on, lied to. In the last relationship I had, yeah, I caught him cheating. And the one before that, I didn't catch him cheating, but he was with me for the wrong reasons. Like, he didn't actually want to be with me per se. It was more so how I benefited him. And guess what? I didn't hold on and become bitter Betty and think, oh, men are so embarrassing. Oh, I don't want a man. And oh, oh, you guys suck. Like, no, I had to think about the red flags I ignored, having benefit of the doubt, and also getting to the root of why I decided to keep those relationships for as long as I did. When you get to the root of things, you gain a better perspective. And if you are open to it and you're ready to learn and heal, you'll grow by accepting accountability, right? This isn't a woe is me or place the blame game, but you really do need to take accountability. And can some guys be jerks and be embarrassing? Absolutely. Yes. You hear that from other men, how they hold men accountable, from the men that I know personally, you know? And then when guys do that publicly, oh, you're pandering to women. Not everything is a pick me and not everything is a pander. Everyone isn't pandering. There's actual people within communities that are tired of the nonsense and are holding each other accountable, and that's what's needed. I can't speak for other women, but typically as a Black woman, we weren't really taught to date, which contributes to the whole having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Some of it is rooted in feminism. When I listen to other women, I can even say when I worked with a woman, well, two women, they were white. Mind you, they were in relationships. One was married, one was divorced, but she had a boyfriend. These are two white women. They talked so bad about having a man, but they also talked about how they needed one, which was odd. It was like, oh, yeah, guys suck. But mind you, they are both with men. And I feel like that is telltale in itself when it came to the feminism movement, if you know, as far as having Black women, join in on that, but then we're not benefiting from it. And people can say, well, women's suffrage and things like that. And, back then women couldn't vote and women couldn't make their own money. I understand that. But that part of it has grown and snowballed into something way worse. And that's the aspect that I'm speaking on. So when it comes to us as women, Black women, I can only speak on because I'm Black. Hello. We weren't really taught how to date. We were taught, if you're chosen by some guy, be sure to do things that you will remain chosen. And of course, this isn't every single Black woman, but when you look at it, even think back to childhood. Oh, if he picks on you, he likes you. No, he's a jerk. And even if that's the case, that shouldn't be the standard. Why should we be mistreated and think, oh, well, yeah, so obviously, he likes me. So no. So it's very layered. But I say all that to say, overall, it is not embarrassing to have a boyfriend, y'all. Because a lot of you all want husbands. I know I do. And this isn't being a pick me. This is being realistic. And some women don't want to be with anyone, and that's okay. Everyone doesn't want to be in a relationship or even married, and that's fine. But to just put the notion out there that having a boyfriend is embarrassing, yet you're actively doing things to obtain one, that doesn't make sense now, does it? But anyway, if you like this video, like it, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.